National Chairman, SSN. God bless SSN. God bless Nigeria.
When malaria come knock for your door, he hit you face to face, no grief for ammo. Well, fast with public term, he get a term in time.
The President's focus are well thought out and well articulated.
Prayers for Nigeria's unity and progress take center stage at the Holy Mosque in Medina on day 2 of President Buhari's visit to Saudi Arabia. Community policing, Inspector General of Police, Minister of Information meet civil society groups. Governor Lalong takes over leadership of Northern Governors Forum as they seek partnership to address security challenges in the region. Hello and welcome to NTA Network News, reaching you live from Abuja. I am Jumwe Yusuf. Reading with me tonight from Lagos is Jennifer Igwe, and Saidia Umar Digi is in Sokoto. Thanks for joining us. Prayers for peace, unity, stability and sustainable growth and development of Nigeria took center stage at the Mosque of Prophet Muhammad in Medina as President Muhammadu Buhari joined Muslim faithful to observe the congregational Jumat prayer. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports on the President's engagement on the second day of his invitational visit to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
It is a fact that there is no special place or special time to worship Allah, as a believer's entire life is one of worship. However, there are moments and days that the Creator has made more superior. Friday, the best day in the sight of Allah, is one of those times. For President Muhammadu Buhari and all those on his entourage, there is no better worshipping location than Rauda, in the heart of the Mosque of the Holy Prophet, which is also the center of the holy city of Medina. And Saudi authorities made this possible.
It's all part of what the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is doing to honor our President, to honor Mr. President, by having him have the best of the opportunities offered for worship in the Holy Mosque of the Holy Prophet in Medina and in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Congregational prayer performed here on this day and in the holy month of Ramadan holds special significance in the life of every Muslim faithful. In fact, scholars say prayers uttered in Rauda by the faithful are never rejected. And for President Muhammadu Buhari, soon to be inaugurated for a second term of office, there is no better opportunity for prayers to Allah.
The President's focus are well thought out and well articulated. And all of the opportunities he has, he continues to focus on the well-being of the Nigerian nation, on issues of security that continue to challenge, the administration and the nation, and for God's intervention in all of these matters.
During the prayer session, the presiding imam not only delivered khutbah to empower the worshippers with valuable knowledge about Allah and the religion of Islam, but also offered special prayers for divine intervention in the darkness dilemma of life confronting mankind, especially the Muslim world. From Medina, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Back home, the Supreme Court has struck out a case instituted by the Cross River State government against the federal government challenging the suspension of Justice Walter Onage as the Chief Justice of Nigeria. The Supreme Court, in a majority decision, upheld the preliminary objection of the federal government that the Cross River State government had no locus to approach the apex court. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okehu reports.
As part of reactions to the suspension of Justice Walter Onnoghen from office as Chief Justice of Nigeria in January, the Cross River State government, where Justice Onnoghen hails from, approached the Supreme Court asking it to invoke its original jurisdiction to declare the suspension null and void. The Attorney General of the Federation filed a preliminary objection asking the Supreme Court to decline its use of the original jurisdiction, since this case does not fall into the provisions of Section 232 of the Constitution, which allows disputes between states and the federal government to be resolved by the apex court without going through the lower courts. In a 4-to-1 majority decision delivered by Justice Paul Galinje, the Supreme Court agreed with the federal government's preliminary objection and struck out the matter. The Supreme Court said the suspension of Justice Walter Onnoghen was not a dispute between the Cross River State government and the federal government, and as such denied the Supreme Court the jurisdiction to go into the substantive matter of determining the propriety of the suspension.
The legal right upon which the matter came from does not fall within the ambit of the Supreme Court, and we're happy that the Supreme Court has agreed with us, and this case is struck out.
Once the majority judgment agreed with the federal government that the suspension of Justice Walter Onnoghen was not a dispute between the federal government and the Cross River State government, the majority judgment did not, therefore, have to go into the merit of the propriety of the suspension. But Justice Mary Odili, who dissented and said that the Cross River State government had the locus to approach the Supreme Court under the original jurisdiction of the Constitution, went into the merit of the matter and ruled that the suspension of Justice Walter Onnoghen was not valid. From the Supreme Court, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, has admonished leaders and those in position of trust to leave behind legacies that will stand the test of time. The Vice President was inaugurating several projects executed by the Imo State Governor, Rochas Okorocha, in Owerri, the state capital. Sele Osayade has details.
Professor Osinbajo says Governor Okorocha is a visionary leader who must be commended, adding that posterity will not forget the governor in a hurry. Professor Osinbajo says, surprisingly, most of these projects have not been publicized by the governor. Some of the projects inaugurated by the Vice President are Imo International Exhibition Center, named after the Vice President. 4 major roads in the metropolis expanded to 8 lanes to ease traffic, and Governor's Lodge. Other projects also inaugurated are Sam Esco Expanded Chambers, the First Lady's Office, and Odenibu Guest House.
I was at a university complex that he built the last time I was here. And as I said, the facilities there are so advanced. You know, it's difficult to find any that's comparable to it anywhere in this country. This is certainly a great achiever, and I'm sure that your legacy is one that will challenge the future in so many different ways.
Governor Rochas Okorocha says he has to his credit over 1,000 verifiable projects in the state, as he came with passion to serve Imo people, having met a state in their need of redemption.
The only business outside education in Igbo land is commerce. And this is why we need to encourage them to showcase some of their great products. We're aware that under the federal government projects, you have this Empower and this business empowerment where you give up to 5 million naira to successful people. This is the right place for you to be.
The Vice President is expected to be given an award in Owerri. Selo Sende, NTA News.
Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State has emerged the new chairman Northern Governors Forum. A meeting of the forum held today in Kaduna also delegated a high-powered committee headed by Governor Aminu Bello Masari of Katsina State to liaise with President Muhammadu Buhari for their collective input towards crime reduction in the north. Mohammed Umar Anjigi reports.
The governors arriving for the meeting to take stock of collective achievements made by the forum for the overall growth of the region, including performances of high-powered committees set up at various levels to profile lasting solutions to security challenges, scourge of drug abuse, as well as pragmatic initiatives towards the resuscitation of the economic lifeway of the region. the Northern Nigeria Development Company. Such initiatives include signing of Memorandum of Understanding with Savannah Petrol Limited for the development of 4 oil blocks and negotiations with the Department of Petroleum Resources to commence full-scale oil and gas exploration in many potentially endowed parts of the region.
Although the forum has introduced and implemented quite a number of measures to stem the tide of security challenges in the region, a lot still needs to be done. I would like to therefore express our gratitude to the President for the quick and immediate responses to the issues of insecurity in the region.
After the deliberations held in closed session, the outgoing chairman of the forum, Kashim Shettima of Borno State, who applauded President Muhammadu Buhari for his effort towards confronting security challenges facing the region, announced the formation of a committee under the chairmanship of Governor Aminu Bello Masari of Katsina State, announced the emergence of Governor Simon Bako Lalong of Plateau State as the new chairman of the forum.
But I'm very hopeful that with the caliber of people that are here, some are going, but new ones are coming. Very experienced colleagues. The sky will be our limit.
The forum promised sustained proactive measures to development challenges in the north. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
Now to the judiciary. The Federal High Court in Abuja has struck out a suit filed by Legal Defense and Assistance Project seeking the removal of Senate President Bukola Saraki, Speaker House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara, and 56 other senators and member House of Representatives who defected before the 2019 general elections on the grounds that the plaintiff lacks the local standing to institute the suit. The presiding judge, Justice Okon Abang, noted that the action ought to have been instituted by the political parties that sponsored the lead lawmakers of the electorate. In the light of this, the court struck out the case for lacking in merit. Justice Abang, however, held that it is an abuse of court process, joining Senator Godswill Akpabio in the matter since he was expelled from the PDP before moving to the APC. It is on the strength of this that the presiding judge dismissed the case.
The right of appeal lies with my client, the plaintiff, or our client, the plaintiff. It doesn't lie with us. It is our client. After guiding the client, if he feels aggrieved by the judgment of the court, he will now instruct us to appeal. And in that case, we can say we want to appeal.
In another development, the Federal High Court has restrained the suspended chairman and presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, Omole Shore, from parading himself as the national chairman of the party. The court also prevented INEC from recognizing the suspended chairman pending the determination of the motion on notice. Justice Ian Eko equally ordered the deputy national chairman of the party, Malcolm Fabi, to stop parading himself in that capacity.
So it effectively has also ordered the AAC to advertise the order of courts in the Vanguard and Sun newspaper within 7 days. Now with this, the acting national chairman standing before me now is now acting in that state until the contrary is placed before the court.
In the affidavit in support of the motion on notice, the party alleged that Shore and his deputy failed to fulfill the statutory requirement of holding the National Executive Committee meeting of the party quarterly as required. Now to security matters. Efforts at finding lasting solutions to security challenges in the country continues, with the Inspector General of Police and Minister of Information and Culture engaging civil society groups in Abuja. Oyeyemi Ajayi reports that the interactive session is aimed at improving civil-police relations for optimal results.
The Nigerian police, as the main security architecture saddled with the responsibility of maintaining internal law and order, is collaborating with other agencies and interested individuals and groups to find lasting solution to crime and criminalities which cut across states of the Federation. This interactive session is one of such efforts of the force to bring more hands on board to ensure safety of lives and property of Nigerians. The Acting Inspector General of Police said achieving the community policing strategy is key to national security, calling for the support of all.
Open to constructive criticisms that will no doubt help us as an institution to deliver our mandate of effective and efficient policing of our society based on rule of law and in line with international best practice.
I think I'm glad that the IG has created this platform where we can freely exchange views, we can dismiss misconceptions and disabuse our minds.
The civil society groups urged the Nigerian police to address some of the core issues causing communication gap with the society.
The Inspector General of Police does not have tenure of office, and we think it is important, not just because of you as an individual, but because of that position. We believe there is need for certainty, we believe there is need for security of tenure.
In Abuja, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
The federal government has reassured on its commitment to timely completion of ongoing road projects in Rivers State, given the critical importance to the nation's economy. The assurance was given during a tour of the project sites by officials of the Ministry of Power Works and Housing.
The 37.9 kilometers Bodo-Boni Road project is a gigantic multi-billion naira venture undertaken by the President Muhammad Buhari's administration after years of neglect by successive administrations. It has 9 bridges spanning 2.2 kilometers with 27 kilometers of the entire route in the swamp and expected to be completed by 2022. So far, 5 kilometers of the project have been completed with extensive sand filling on over 5 kilometers. Minister of Power, Works and Housing represented led the federal government team to inspect the project, during which he interfaced with critical stakeholders to appraise the extent of work done.
Look at your environment, look at where you are, look at the bridge, look at the quality. It speaks for itself.
While construction work on the Bodo-Boni Road stands at 12% completion, 8% of rehabilitation work on the Port Harcourt-Aba Expressway has been achieved. Funding, weather conditions, compensation are among some of the challenges affecting Port Harcourt-Aba Road project. Some of those whose property were marked for demolition took to the street on citing the minister's team.
Make the federal government take their time and search very well. There is people that demolish their place, and we heard that they have paid the people and they are never paid.
The 8-lane 41.4 kilometers Port Harcourt-Aba Express Road under rehabilitation is expected to be completed by 2020. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
You are watching NTA Network News. Let's take a break. We will be right back.
The clock is ticking. It's the signal for the inauguration of the 16th President of Nigeria and 5th President in the 4th Nigerian Republic.
Nigerians are set to mark the beginning of the second term of Muhammadu Buhari as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The first term saw the most massive critical infrastructural development, agricultural revolution, war against corruption, tackling insecurity, and unprecedented social investment programs. Our opportunity to keep moving our country on the path to a prosperous future. It's the next level for the Nigerian people. This is our time as Nigerians. Come, let us celebrate the next level with Muhammadu Buhari, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Date, Wednesday, 29th May 2019. Venue, Eagle Square, Abuja. Time, 8 a.m. prompt. Roll out the drums. Come, let's celebrate.
Announcer Boss Gida Mustafa, Secretary to Government of the Federation and Chairman 2019 Presidential Inauguration Committee.
Data. We can't live without it. Share it. Sell with it. Borrow it. oxygen. Glow 4G, the new speed of life. Your #1 4G network nationwide. The very best from Glow, the grandmasters of data.
The management of the Nigeria Television Authority (NTA), Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria (FRCN), and Voice of Nigeria cordially invites the general public to the 14th edition of the annual Ramadan lecture, which will inshallah hold on Saturday, 18th May 2019. The topic is Tolerance in Islam, to be delivered by Sheikh Muhammad Nuruddin Lemu, Director of Research and Training, Dawah Institute of Nigeria Islamic Education Trust, Mina, Niger State. The venue for the event is Lumana Multipurpose Hall, River Road, Jabi Road East, Ngorimi Jari, Kaduna by 9 a.m. Under the distinguished chairmanship of Lamido of Adamawa, His Royal Highness Muhammad Berkindo Aliyu Mustafa. The chief host is His Excellency Malam Nasr Ahmed El-Rufai, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State. Royal Father of the Day is His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Show Idris, CFA, Emir of Zazzau. The host, Malam Yakubi Muhammad, Director General of Nigeria Television Authority, Malam Mansur Liman, Director General of Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, and Osta Okechukwu, Director General of Voice of Nigeria, Announcer Organizing Committee. You are welcome.
There's a smarter way to live with Airtel Binge Plan, the ideal data plan for those heavy data moments. Get a 2 GB daily binge plan for 500 Naira. Dial *141# to activate. Live smarter with data.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
The National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, hereby notifies the public that consequent upon the issuance and public presentation of the Nigeria Data Protection Regulation on the 25th of January 2019, full implementation of the regulation commenced on the 25th of April 2019. The regulation seeks to safeguard the rights of Nigerians to data privacy. According to Section 6C of the NITDA Act of 2007, the agency is mandated to develop regulations for electronic governance and monitor the use of electronic data interchange and other forms of electronic communication transactions. The penalty for breaching this regulation include payment of the fine of up to 2% of annual gross revenue of the preceding year or the sum of 10 million naira, whichever is greater. This is in addition to any other liabilities prescribed by law. Need to urge all Nigerians to support this initiative, as your right to privacy is fundamental. For comprehensive information on the Nigeria Data Protection Regulation, please visit our website, Signed Management.
It's Ramadan. It's okay to share what you love. Ramadan Kareem from Indomie Super Pack, now available at 85 Naira.
I'm Jamila Loa. Welcome to My Good Diaries. I'll be bringing you amazing recipes from the north. It's something very playful that you and your kids during Ramadan, you can put your hands together and have fun making it in the kitchens. Cook the difference with Maggie this Ramadan.
It is another blessed month of Ramadan, and the Muslim community of the NTA Lagos Network Center invites you to be a part of its annual Yusuf Jibril Ramadan lecture with the theme Learn Islam, Live Islam. Date Saturday 18th May 2019. Time 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Venue NTA Lagos Network Center premises Ahmadu Bello Way, Victoria Island, Lagos. Under the chairmanship of Alhaji Abdul Latif Femi Okunu, National President Ansaruddin Society of Nigeria. Chief host, Malam Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, DG NTA. Principal host, Malam Lawal Ahmed, Zonal Director, NTA Lagos Network Center. Sheikh Jabir Sani Mehula of the Sokoto State University will be discussing the topic Islamic Perspective to Nigerian Diversity and Inclusion, while Sheikh Dr. Ridwan Jamiu, Imam, Lekki Muslim Ummah, will do justice to the topic, the challenges of leadership in Nigeria, the missing link. Don't miss this spiritually rewarding gathering. Ramadan Kareem.
Thanks for staying. The Presidential Investigation Panel for Recovering Public Property and the National Lottery Trust Fund are jointly working together to find ways of recovering unremitted lottery revenues from lottery operators and prosecute defaulters. To this end, the executive chairman of the panel, Okun Ofem Obano Obla, visited the Lottery Trust Fund office in furtherance of the cause.
We treat such cases as economic adversity, economic sabotage. And we have the coercive powers. We have the powers to arrest, we have the powers to investigate, we have the powers to prosecute.
For the Executive Secretary, National Lottery Trust Fund, Dr. Bello Megari, deployment of technology in tracking activities of operators and stepping up robust enforcement with compliance action are the right path to take. That, he said, would enable government to tap into the benefits accruing from the industry that has the potential of turning up about 100 billion naira annually and employment opportunities.
Absence of good regulatory framework that enables market entry and appeal by competition, lack of commitment to enforcement and compliance to relevant provisions of the law have largely been responsible for the current state of affairs in the industry.
84 persons have received starter packs after a successful training in aquaculture, courtesy Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs. Eloho Agbara has details of the event which held in Asaba, Delta State.
In line with the vision of President Buhari's administration in diversifying the economy, the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs is amongst other initiatives exploring the region's comparative advantage in aquaculture. It is in a bid to promote this economic venture that these youths were made to undertake the training. The beneficiaries are no doubt appreciative of these developments.
Before now, I don't know much. I don't even know anything about fishing. Not until when I got to this place and I'm being a beneficiary of this program. The program has been so wonderful.
They have taught us on the types of ponds, how you rear fish, even when you don't want to rear, how you can do fish business, which is going to be lucrative.
I thank the Ministry of Niger Delta. God should bless them and strengthen them more to do more for us.
They taught us what we did not know before about fish hatchery, about entrepreneur, the difference between the entrepreneur and the businessman.
Ministry of Niger Delta, I'm so impressed. I feel so great.
The Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Useni Oguru Useni, was represented by the Head of Training and Empowerment, Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, Dr. Ilyasu Bello.
We identify agriculture as key components to any development strive to thrive. And we are investing so much in youth empowerment and training so that at least not for only them to be self-employed, they can be even an employer of labor elsewhere.
The exercise lasted 2 weeks. Elo Agbra, NTA News.
For the African continent to achieve sustainable development goals in 2030, experts are advocating the need for concerted efforts at fighting corruption in the continent. Abdullahi Musa Sileja reports that this is a fallout of the Transparency International policy paper presentation on land and education corruption in Africa.
Instances abound in West Africa, where forgeries, seeking a bribe for admission into institutions, clothing of land documents, allocating land without following due process, land grabbing, sex for marks in higher institutions, and discrimination against women, among others, are serious corrupt cases impeding development. A Transparency International survey expressed concern over the endemic problem and how the vices can destroy the society. Executive Director, Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, who is also the Nigerian chairman, Transparency International, Awal Musa Sanjani, is hopeful that the coming together of participatory countries will develop ideas that can ensure land and education management in the continent better.
The issue of corruption and lack of accountability can be tackled only in coalition and through networks. This is why regional and international collaboration is so important.
Other speakers are unanimous that it is faulty for individuals to leave the fight against corruption in the hands of government alone.
It is political suicide for any administration to actually come out and fight corruption. And that, for me, is one of the reasons why I continue to applaud this administration for taking making that bold step to say we will fight corruption.
We cannot talk about the achievement of those SDGs if the issue of governance is not addressed, specifically the issue of corruption.
Emphasis was also paid on blowing whistle on any corrupt practice. Abdullahi Musa Sleja, NTA News.
A literary piece that will assist in molding and shaping the thoughts and dreams of the Nigerian child towards promoting national peace as well as efforts taken in tackling insurgency has been presented to the public in Abuja. This is in furtherance of efforts by the Nigerian army to rid the nation of crimes and criminality. Elizabeth Omori reports that the book is titled The Legend of Burate, a memoir of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Burate.
The presentation of the book is quite apt, following efforts to promote the reading culture of the Nigerian child and imparting knowledge through fiction. The 7-chapter and 90-page publication was skillfully written by Dr. Abubakar Sani to help primary and secondary school students appreciate General Tukur Buratai, one of Africa's infantry generals who has recorded immense success in combating insurgency in Nigeria. The legend of Buratai encapsulates the exemplary leadership, skills, commitment, and facts presented to the Chief of Army Staff as an authority and a point of reference to students and generations to come when issues of counterterrorism is brought to the fore. The author of the book described the Army Chief as a fountain of knowledge with wealth of experience, which is evident in the operations of the Nigerian Army as the nation counters terrorism and other crimes.
His life summarizes this: diligence, hard work, excellence, probity, commitment, and patriotism to his fatherland.
There was a goodwill message from the Chief of Army Staff, who is on a national assignment, to the audience.
The nation has gone through thick and thin in her growth from infancy to maturity. What has kept the country going is the resolve to collectively strive to do our very best to protect the national interest.
Al-Hassan Abdullahi also delivered some poetic lines in appreciation of efforts to combat insurgency in the northeast of Nigeria.
If you could listen to the silence of appreciation, you'd have to respect the humility of the Nigerian soldier.
The Legend of Buratai is recommended for all literary enthusiasts. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
A 154-page book, The Journey Naivety Meets Stardom, which tells the story of a heroine to encourage hard work and perseverance, has been presented to the public. Ikechukwu Nduke reports.
In the name of the Father, and in the name of the Son, Amen. And in the name of the Holy Ghost. Amen.
It is one of the stories that not only captivates the reader, but also leaves behind lessons of life that could be learned by others. The book, The Journey, Naivety Meets Stardom, written by Ngozi Ndi Alichi, is seen by reviewers as a work that raises the hope that Nigeria still has what it takes to be a key player in literature.
The way the whole story flowed from the village to the city, about the businesses, the circumstances this man and his family went through.
Our society is becoming a deficit of values and morals. But when you read, the story there, you will know that doing the right thing, being resilient, being obedient and committed will actually give you the laurels in life, in spite of your background.
Former Minister of Labour and Productivity, Emeka Nwogu, ex-broadcaster Pitigo, and others at the public presentation advocated award of scholarships to deserving students.
So it's something that I recommend not only to students of classics or English literature and English, but to our leaders, because at every point you need to know where you are coming from.
It's a book that inspires people to follow their dreams, and that no matter how lowly your background, your passion, your desire to excel will always lead you to the top.
The 104-page book is divided into 9 chapters. In Abuja, Ikechukundukwe, NTA News.
100 youth from military homes have been given the opportunity to realize their career goals, courtesy of the Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association. Correspondent Naja Otu Tijani has details.
11-year-old David Adebayo aspires to become an engineer. Not surprisingly, his best subject is mathematics.
Because they help me understand how to solve some equations.
18-year-old Grace, whose father died in active military service, on the other hand, desires a career in food and nutrition.
I plan to help, the course is about like studying food, then you'll be able to tell people what the right food to eat and stuff like that.
What's the connection between the two? They are part of 100 youngsters from nursery to university level who have been awarded scholarships for an academic session, having lost a parent serving in the military or shown exceptional academic ability.
There are so many things that the poor will have chosen to do. We are talking here of over tens of millions of naira. Am I right, man? At least for the 22 alone, that is already how many? 11,000 or 11 million. We saw another check again for 5.816 million and other ones that are accounted. But when you have done a lot of that, putting physical infrastructures in place, you're also choosing to invest in what I consider to be the most important of all investments. Investment in human capital.
So this program was put together for various reasons. Firstly, to appreciate the efforts of military personnel who laid down their lives for the security, peace, and unity of our country, Nigeria.
Beyond providing financial assistance which will contribute to a stable educational future, DEPOA says it wants to help these children realize their dreams because Nigeria is built on the dreams of such ones. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
Experts seek support for entrepreneurs for economic growth, and Jennifer in our network center, Lagos Network Center, has details of that and all the reports. Hello, Jennifer.
Thank you, Jumei, and welcome to the Center of Excellence. Now, experts in the financial sector say the problems bedeviling entrepreneurs are multidimensional. They identified, among others, lack of access to credit and relevant information at a colloquium on accountability and venturing in Lagos. Amako will report that participants suggested ways of repositioning the accounting profession.
For Nigeria to compete favorably with other nations in the area of production and value addition, industry players in the financial sector believe firmly in accountability for small businesses to thrive.
I think, first of all, the entrepreneur has to be accountable to himself and to his stakeholders. If you don't have structured ways of accounting, you very quickly miss the ball.
The state of readiness of many businesses, sometimes with good plans and a lot of passion, but there are gaps in terms of record keeping, in terms of governance and the like.
Repositioning the accounting profession, experts say, is also critical to national development. They debunked the misconception that accountants aid corruption because of their role in computing figures.
We, to the best of my knowledge, confined a role to be the custodian of public trust and the conscience of the nation.
Nigerians have a role to play in stopping corruption. It's not just accountants. I think the enabling environment has to be there.
For businesses to survive through thick and thin, entrepreneurs have been advised to adopt services of professional accountants to earn public trusts. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
Nigerian Breweries PLC has declared a dividend payment of 2 naira 43 kobo per ordinary share of 50 kobo each for the 2018 financial year. This was at the company's annual general meeting in Lagos. Paul Omukago has details.
The consolidated and separate financial statement give a true and fair view of the consolidated and separate financial position of Nigerian Breweries PLC as at 31 December 2018.
That was the independent auditor's report to shareholders. Chairman, Board of Directors, Chief Kola Jamudu, in declaring the dividend, referred shareholders to an interim dividend payment of 4.7 billion naira as approved by the board in October 2018, which translates to 60 kobo per ordinary share. Business, he explained, was slow due to a number of factors, but not unconnected to the modest economic growth as far back as 2017.
It was in 2018 that the government increased the level of excise duty and also changed the basis for the calculation. Ordinarily, this should have been passed on to the market.
The financial report for 2018 showed that Nigerian breweries made profit before tax totaling 29.4 billion naira, while the profit after tax amounted to 19.4 billion naira.
Consistently, we have delivered a return on investment to our shareholders, and that is the focus.
On excise duty alone, the company paid over 25 billion naira. That itself is a major challenge.
The shareholders also approved the appointment of 4 new directors by single resolution, while 2 directors were re-elected into the board. There was also nomination and reconstitution of the audit committee, comprising 3 directors and 3 shareholders respectively. In Lagos, Paul Omukago, NTA News.
And for more on business, let's join Abolade Salami. Abolade, over to you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Good evening and welcome to the Business News segment. Reviewing the core values in banking as a profession has become imperative if the sector is to maintain standard and equity. Deputy Governor of Financial System Stability, Central Bank of Nigeria, Aisha Ahmed, at a gathering in Lagos, said this will promote principles of professionalism. Professionalism in banking business must be seen as the cornerstone for the implementation of sustainable principles. A report by the Subcommittee on Ethics and Professionalism, Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria in 2008 shows that 126 cases of unethical practices by banks were resolved, with a sum of 1.69 billion naira refunded to petitioners. In order to stem the tide of unethical practice among financial institutions, key players are advocating training in ethics for bankers.
We need to build in ourselves that high sense of integrity and doing the right thing. Usually, when you are very clear about your values, it's easier to solve the ethical dilemmas. So encourage them to persist in their commitment to enhancing the level and standards of professionals that are working in the Nigerian financial services sector.
It is very important for us because at the forefront is ethics and professionalism, the moral conduct for, because as steward of resources we hold for people, we must be found ethical.
This gesture, they say, must be extended to the mortgage subsector of the institution. Nigeria's trade volume with China, which stands at 18%, is expected to increase due to the various partnership with the Nigerian business community. The economic growth forecast, which stakeholders project, will continue based on strong trade ties and growth stability in the Nigerian economy, coupled with the $2.5 billion currency swap aimed at boosting free flow of capital and business transactions, is believed will help sustain development of investments in the country.
It's had a great level of relationship in terms of trade. I think as at last year, they had over $70 billion in terms of trade agreement, trade relationship and all that. And I believe that this year definitely it will triple, with the level of interest in
products, wherein we have some of the electronic manufacturers who are interested in setting up factories here. So they can bring in capital, they can bring in technology. They are trying to see how they can produce the products here. It's everything. It's a combination of a couple of factors. Obviously population is one of the largest market, and also the acceptance of Chinese products are good in this market.
With over 2,000 Chinese manufacturers in Nigeria, stakeholders have expressed optimism with the growing pattern of manufacturing sector in the country. And now let's switch gears to the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The bull has returned to Broad Street, precisely the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, as the All-Share Index closed in the green, appreciating by 1.53%.
Some level of confidence may have returned to investors as the capital market had a rebound of 1.53% to close the all-share index at 28,871.93 basis points. Volume of shares traded were 267 million, valued at 7.5 billion naira, which exchanged hands in 3,684 deals and a market capitalization of 12.7 trillion naira. MTN Nigeria, Better Gas and O&O finished in the green. On sectoral performance, NSE Industrial and NSE Insurance had it good after close of trade, appreciating by 0.08% and 0.41%, while NSE Banking, NSE Consumer Goods and NSE Oil and Gas declined in figures by 0.39%, 0.03% and 0.41%.
And that's a wrap on business news. The news continues after this short commercial break. Please stay with us.
Muslim Ummah of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA Lokoja, cordially invites the public to the 2019 Ramadan lecture. Theme: The Influence of Drugs in Society and Islamic Solution. Date: 14th Ramadan, 1440 after Hijrah, which is equivalent to 19th of May 2019. Venue: New Lokoja Central Mosque. Time: 10 a.m. Guest speaker: Ustaz Usman Tawheed. Co-speaker: Alhaji Idris Mohammed Bello, Commander, NDLEA Kogi State. Chairman of the occasion: Honorable Justice Nasir Ajana. Special guest of honor: His Excellency Alhaji Hayya Bello, Executive Governor of Kogi State. Royal Fathers of the Day: His Royal Majesty Dr. Alhaji Ado Ibrahim, CFR, Ohinoyi of Ebiralan. His Royal Majesty Alhaji Abdurazak Isa Kutu, Ohimegegu of Kotankarfi. His Royal Majesty Dr. Alhaji Mohammed Kabir Maikarfi III, Maigari of Lokoja. His Royal Highness Dr. Alhaji Usman Ali Obaje, OON, AJ of Dekina. Chief Host Alhaji Yakub Ibn Muhammad, DG, NTA. Host Alhaji Yusuf Kailani, GM, NTA Lokoja. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you as you attend. Amin. NTA Lokoja Muslim Ummah. Announcer.
When oil was discovered in Nigeria in the late 1950s, the nation started earning significant revenue from crude oil export and soon became a major oil-producing country, ranking 7th in the world. This, however, came with a major challenge as Nigeria also acquired the reputation of being a foremost gas-flaring nation in the world. The solution was Nigeria LNG Limited. The company did not only reduce gas flaring drastically, but also contributes revenue to the nation's GDP, safely and reliably delivering LNG to customers in Europe, America, and Asia. Nigeria LNG has paid dividend in excess of $20 billion, contributing 1% to Nigeria's gross domestic product, GDP. The company began the supply of domestic LPG cooking gas to mitigate the scarcity of the commodity and the attendant high cost in the local market in 2007. Nigeria LNG sponsors manpower and infrastructure development initiatives, the latest being the 34-kilometer Bonny-Boda Road project in a partnership deal with the federal government. Nigeria LNG initiated multi-million-dollar corporate social responsibility initiatives beyond its host and pipeline communities, such as Africa's most prestigious prizes, the Nigeria Prize for Science and the Nigeria Prize for Literature, as well as the University Support Program, USP. Nigeria LNG has grown into a business model in Nigeria and a force to reckon with in the global LNG market. With a fully Nigerian management team, 98% Nigerian workforce, 4 resilient shareholders, Nigeria LNG is a world-class LNG company helping to build a better Nigeria.
The Governing Council of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, National Assembly, hereby informs all invited guests that the official commissioning of the NILS Ultra-Modern Training and Conference Center and permanent site, scheduled for 20th of May 2019, has been postponed due to technical reasons. We regret any inconvenience this may have caused our esteemed invited guests. A new date will be announced. Announcer, Dr. Adeyemi Fajingbesi, Acting Director General, NILS.
The federal government of Nigeria, as represented by the Federal Ministry of Communications, is organizing the second phase of the Nigerian Open Data Conference, slated for the Northwest Geopolitical Zone, with the theme, Harnessing Government Information and Data Assets for Economic Growth, Northwest Zone. The conference is scheduled to take place on Thursday, 23rd to Friday, 24th May 2019. Time, 9 a.m. prompt. Venue, Tahir Guest Palace, Number 4, Ibrahim Nesogune Road, Kano, Kano State. For further inquiries, please contact Likita on 090-2227-7762 or prsd@comtech.gov.ng.
What's up?
His friends didn't come.
Hey, let's practice.
But you're going out.
Don't worry about me.
Nothing satisfies a mother more than seeing a child grow up. But I know as he sweats, he'll face the risk of germs which can cause skin irritation.
That's why you need the new best ever Dettol Cool. Its new advanced formulation with extra menthol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs and gives your family icy cool freshness.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
Can your milk do this?
Can your milk do this? Mine can.
With Hollandia evaporated milk, your ice cream, custards, and variations of beverages taste pleasantly different. Hollandia evaporated milk. Life tastes different.
From the House of Chi.
For a business owner or fresh graduate looking to learn new skills in line with your passion or business, would you like to get a grant of 1 million naira to grow your business? How about interfacing with top government officials responsible for youth intervention programs? Would you like to meet with successful entrepreneurs? Offer you 12 months guided mentorship in your field, all for free? Then you need to be at the National Youth Entrepreneurship Empowerment Summit coming up on the 21st to 23rd of May 2019. Time is 9 a.m. daily. Venue is International Conference Center, Herbert Macaulay, Area 11, Abuja. Learn from the likes of Jimmy Tewe, Trisha Ikwanwombia, Ubong King, Kafi the Dancer, Kule Idowu, Frank Donga, George Okoro, and many others. Proudly supported by the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, OSGF, the Tony Elumelu Foundation, the Jimmy Tewe Company, and Eventi Planners. Attendance is free, but registration is compulsory. Register at www.nyees.org.ng.
Welcome back. President of World Crafts Council African Region and Director